All right, guys, we are live. This is the Blood Spattered Trio live stream. Featuring
What's going
myself,
on, everybody?
Sean Patrick Erschen, Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, and Hellhound from the Horror Metal channel. Yes. So, this is going to be the big Halloween franchise spectacular. Yes.
Yes, sir.
We all love it, don't we?
And like I said, Sean, in honor of this, I wore my Child's Play shirt. But it says Bronco
That
Juggalo on
is
it,
an
so that's why.
that is an official Bronco Juggalo Talks movie shirt too.
This is the official Horror Mob exclusive shirt that members of the Horror Mob got.
Nice. What's up, Makeup Stun Productions?
Hello, Mako.
Yeah. You got the Soulless trench coats going on, dude.
Hey, Trenchy.
Metal Kyo. Before we get started, let's give a happy birthday to Felissa Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Happy birthday, Felissa.
Star of Sleepaway Camp, the original classic slasher. You guys ever meet her?
No.
Nope.
I did. She's so cool. Really nice. She talked with us for a while, you know. I got my picture with her, got my signature on my poster and all that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. So let's see. Hellhound, you have till what, 8?
Maybe if I can hold out that long, I don't know.
If you can hold, yeah. If you don't, of course, if you get tired, just let us know. It's no problem.
Yeah, my back is hurting already, especially the way I'm sitting right now.
Do you not have like a comfortable chair for me to sit in?
I do, but I'd have to hold on to my phone like this, and I'd rather not do that.
I see.
I don't really have anything to set my phone on, unfortunately. I need a better setup.
You gotta find a comfortable spot, comfortable area.
Yeah.
Get you a tripod.
Yeah, I need one.
You don't have one yet? Come on, you gotta get one.
Yeah, you can get one for like $17 at Walmart that has the thing to hold a phone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I use it for my videos, but I use the laptop for the streams.
Yeah, me too.
This is the best spot for me to be undisturbed, though, honestly.
Yeah, so it's a good spot to get some quiet.
Yeah.
What's Jennifer talking about, Brad? Darn, your wife didn't skin you last night?
No, I was making fun of my wife.
All right, so we get to it then.
Yeah, let's start.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's start with the coolest look of Michael Myers. What is your favorite look of Michael Myers' character?
For the longest time, mine was part 6. I love that mask. It's my favorite mask. I do, I'm not a fan. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of the remakes, but I do think Michael looks cool in the first one. And the second, Hobo Myers, I'm not into, but in the first movie, he looks cool. He looks badass.
I'll agree with that.
But I think my favorite look is now the 2018 look. I mean, the 2018 is just fucking sick.
Nice. How about you, Hellhound?
The first one.
Yeah.
Simple yet effective. I think that was the creepiest.
Absolutely.
The subtlety of it was the creepiest.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with you on that. The original classic Nothing beats the original for me.
Yeah.
It's just so effective. It's just so scary.
I agree.
I know a lot. I mean, a lot of that is the lighting on the mask and everything too, of course. But the portrayal by Nick Castle, of course.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, terrifying.
Indeed.
All right, guys. Favorite scene in the original Halloween? Your favorite scene? Tough one.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you mine off the bat is the opening sequence for me. Right after Michael kills Judith and he goes downstairs and you see that awesome shot of him, the zoom out of the camera with him standing there holding the knife, I think is just freaking amazing.
And the POV shot.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many, but yeah.
I think that my favorite scene is, Michael just busting through that closet. That's why I got it on my phone. That's why I have it. I mean, it's so intense and he's just so, like, intimidating and scary at that moment.
Yeah. That's awesome. You mean when Jamie's inside, right? Trying to hide.
Yeah, I mean, this scene right here.
Yeah.
When he comes
Perfect
busting
shot
through
of it right there.
Yeah, and like he looks down at her and she's got the hanger and she's like, and she's so frightened,
Yeah.
I think it's just a great scene. I also really love the scene with Annie when she's stuck in the window. Makes me laugh every time.
Some really cool shots of Michael though in the background in that scene. Soulless Trenchcoat says this might be weird, but when he was just standing on the sidewalk watching Lori walk away in broad daylight creeped me out.
That's a great one.
Yeah. That's when she sings the song of Just the Two of Us.
And then you have the, hey, isn't that Devon Graham scene when he stops?
Yeah.
And you just think like, man, what's going to happen? It's like, is he going to get out? Is he going to go out? What's going to happen right there? You're like, what's going to happen?
Gives me chills.
Yeah.
The Loomis monologue is amazing. That's a great scene too.
Oh, absolutely.
Loomis shooting him and then him coming back and, he pulls the mask back down and,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. It's so hard to pick the best.
Like when he slowly appears out of the darkness, when he just gets more and more visible. I think that's a good scene.
Yeah, you mean right before he stabs her and she falls downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, that's like iconic. There's just so many, it's hard to choose. It really is. Great choices, guys. Cannot argue with any of those. Well, Brad came up with the next one I thought was very interesting question. Halloween 1978. Blood or no blood? That is the question.
I've always been of the school that as much as I love gore and I love, blood and gore and guts, that movie is perfect the way it is. It does not need to be super bloody to scare the shit out of you. It doesn't need to be super bloody to, make its point. You feel like you've been through a bloodbath when you watch Halloween.
I agree with that. It's the subtlety that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It showed it showed good filmmaking. You didn't have to,
You didn't have to rely on gore.
Exactly. I mean, I love gore, just like all of us do. I love it. But, it's not always needed. If you can do it right, and that's the thing is, I don't think a lot of directors now can do that right. That is one thing. Even though I've been very critical of Tobe Hooper over the years, he did a very good job of that in Texas Chainsaw. You felt like you were covered in like all kinds of blood, but there really wasn't a lot. John Carpenter's another one.
Credit where credit is due.
John Carpenter is another one. But there are a lot of directors now that just can't do it. Like they've tried and it doesn't work.
Sharpshooter loves what you don't.
What up, Greg?
Out of the Darkness is mine too, so Jennifer agrees with you, Hellhound.
Awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Brad. Absolutely. Theater of the mind, you don't have, because everything else about the movie is so effective, you don't need it because of the camera angles and the shots, the way it's filmed. It's so intense, and the music is so intense. You really don't need the blood,
I've been hearing people lately say, "Oh, there's no blood in that movie, and it's not as good without the blood." I'm like, no, you don't need it. That's the problem with audiences nowadays. Is audiences have no imagination for themselves either.
They have to have everything spoon-fed to them.
Exactly, and to me, that shows our American. Well, most of them are American. Our American education system at work. Nobody's allowed to, and also the fact that everybody under the age of 30 is practically raised by an iPhone now. And everybody wants everything laid out for them. They don't want to look at anything or think about anything themselves.
I know.
The sign of a good horror movie was that it made you think.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy, Craig. Halloween gets more boring every time he watches it. Craig, you're nuts.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I'll have to agree and disagree on that one.
Yeah. Halloween's about as close as you get to a perfect film.
Yes, I totally agree.
Exactly.
This is one thing me and Brad absolutely agree on, that's for sure, is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And Trenchcoat makes a good point. It doesn't need the blood. Plus strangling is creepy because that is a creepy scene when Annie gets killed and she gets strangled in the car. Very realistic.
I like when Linda gets strangled too.
Yeah.
The phone cord.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Yeah, and that's something else too. Everybody talks about, like Michael, all he does is use that knife. He killed people in multiple ways throughout the franchise.
Oh yeah.
Multiple ways. It's also the same thing. People think that all Jason did was use a machete. That's not true either. If you really watch the movies, he kills people.
He uses every kind of weapon.
He really doesn't even get the machete till like part 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Well,
he used it in part 2. Actually,
yeah, he had one, but he didn't like have it glued to his hand the whole time.
Yeah.
Like. So
what's
today
up,
is
everybody
also,
in the chat?
Today is also Slashback Saturday. And honestly, I'll tell you, man, just about every category that Joe comes up with, in my opinion, you could use Halloween or one of the movies in the Halloween franchise for. And that's the beauty of this franchise,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very good at that. All right, next up is favorite sequel in the franchise, guys. What is your favorite sequel?
Part 6, still. 2018 is up there and part 2 is up there, but part 6 is still my favorite sequel. I love that movie so much. Theatrical cut, of course, not the director cut. And I love it. I don't understand people's dislike for that movie. I also don't understand how people don't acknowledge George Wilbur as the best Michael Myers. I mean, that guy is so intimidating and so violent and also so calm at the same time in that movie. He's the scariest Myers to me. Like, he is so scary. And I just love him for that.
Nice. So you go with George Wilbur as your favorite, Michael?
James Jude Courtney is coming up there too, honestly. But I love 2018. That movie really impressed the shit out of me. I mean, I love that movie. So, and I want to see him. I want to see James Jude Courtney going forward for a long time playing it, as long as he can. I'd like to see him do it because that guy's really good. But totally. I mean, before him, Wilbur was the only one that was ever asked to play him twice. You know, and I think it's because he does such a good job. And part 6 to me is the most brutal of all the films. I still find it more brutal than 2018 or the Rob Zombie films. But that's just my opinion.
It is pretty brutal.
Yeah, it is definitely.
I love that.
Hellhound, what's your favorite sequel?
Part 2.
Nice.
I love how Michael Myers is so violent and so pissed off in that one.
Yeah.
All the gloomy hospital setting is so secluded, so isolated. It makes it really creepy.
He just got shot 6 times, man. I'd be pretty pissed too.
Yeah.
It's 7 in part 2, though, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He shoots him twice more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And then later on, he gets shot another 6 times. Remember? Once he busts through the glass door,
just walks through it, basically.
Yeah, I love that.
Me too.
Well, I will have to agree with Lord Hellhound. Halloween 2. I freaking love that movie. It's amazing.
It is
I know that if you watch my channel.
Yeah, it is a very great film. It is an amazing film. I don't understand people talking about how it's slow and boring. To me, that movie is paced perfectly. Michael, the Don, what's his name? Was it Don Shanks? No.
It was Dick Warlock and
Dick Warlock thing. I knew it was a D. I couldn't remember which one. D. Yeah. Dick Warlock played a very good Michael. And I mean, when he takes that scalpel and he raises that nurse up with one hand,
yeah,
it's like, oh, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's freaking creepy, man.
Yeah, for sure. He's intimidating as hell.
Even though he was like probably the smallest Michael, it didn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
I did find that's why I hit the look in part 2. I'm not a big fan of, even though I do like the eyes. They use that mask, the same mask they use in the other, but his head is bigger. I guess it looks smaller, but I think his head is bigger because he filled the mask out more and it made the mask round looking.
That's
it looked
probably
more
true.
It looked more round and but it made him look like he had a very small head. Because the mask wasn't like draped over, and
I thought it still looked pretty cool. It was like more weathered looking.
Yeah. Well, it had been sitting under Barbara Hill's bed for a year.
Yeah.
The hair was more matted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's weird though how certain shots though in part 2, it almost looks exactly the same. Like if you see it like coming in the lighting, like in certain parts, it's like, ooh, that looks like exactly like the original.
Yeah.
So next one, guys, is least favorite sequel in the franchise. This is going to be interesting.
Say it with me now.
I know what mine is.
You guys know me. You know me, and so the movie that I hate the most.
I know you, so I probably know what you're going to say.
I hate it. I mean, this movie makes me physically angry. Just to watch it pisses me off.
You want to throw something?
Halloween H2. I literally just want to shatter my television when it's on.
You have to make that point.
Yeah, I hate it. I fucking hate that. Are you serious, Craig? You're just saying shit to be contrary. Nobody says part 4 is their least favorite. Come on. Nobody loves part 4.
I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah, it's George P. Wilbur in part 6, Craig. George P. Wilbur plays in part 6.
And part 4.
And part 4, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with Soulless Trenchcoat, Halloween Resurrection. To me, I hate that movie.
So I would really think you would hate the remake Rowan too, because that is just so not Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean that especially H2, it's not Halloween at all.
No, I have to agree with you on that.
At least with Resurrection, there was still some good stuff in that movie. I mean, Halloween H2 has no redeeming qualities whatsoever, in my opinion. It doesn't have a single redeeming quality. It's a terrible movie from start to finish.
I agree.
And at least with Resurrection, we got some pretty decent kills. We got a Michael Myers mask that looks pretty cool, especially when it's lit right. And the guy playing Michael, even though he gets the bad rap, he didn't do a terrible job. The only problem is that I don't know how Busta Rhymes got fucking control over the script to make him such a badass and go all fucking kung fu, you know.
That's what ruined the movie for me.
Kung Fooey Hooey or whatever that dog's name was on him. You know.
So for me, it's a tie between the two: Resurrection and Halloween H2. Rob Zombie. It's a tie. I hate them both equally. I despise them both. I think they're both absolute garbage, and I'd rather not ever watch them again. When I have a marathon, I usually skip over those two. In fact,
you skip them.
If I'm doing a true marathon, the only one that if I'm doing a marathon, the only one I usually skip. I don't marathon them all like that. I marathon the originals, and then I never marathon the sequels. So I gotta have a reason to watch the sequels. I really do. Like I gotta have to review them, or I gotta do it for a friend or something. I mean, I try to watch them.
I watch the sequels.
I try watching them once in a while, especially at least the first one, just to see if maybe I'll like something, and I never do. But yeah, with the originals, I'll marathon them, but I always take out part 3. It has nothing to do with the others.
It's only because I'm having a Michael Myers marathon.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that. What's up, Michael Myers 101 in the house?
Hey, buddy.
Yo.
And Chris Corby as well. Jennifer's agreeing with you, Brad.
Yeah.
Because Resurrection just pisses me off more than any of the other ones, just because it's like they didn't care about it. They just knocked it out quick, just cheap.
Yeah, they were just trying to capitalize off the
product,
of H2O.
It's simply a cash grab and nothing else, It's like they didn't really care about making a good Halloween sequel, you know?
It's crap.
Yeah. It's just garbage. I mean, at least Rob Zombie had a vision he wanted to, you know, complete.
Well, his vision was to intentionally go out and tell all Halloween fans to go fuck themselves. That's literally what he flat out said it a couple times. Like,
yeah, I get that.
When Michael Myers says "die," that pretty much says it all right there. That basically sums up Rob Zombie's Halloween movies perfectly.
It needs to die.
Yeah. And I felt like he had a total lack of respect for the Loomis character.
Oh my god,
Loomis into this money grubbing asshole.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
You know?
That's the biggest thing that pisses me off about that one. Yeah,
the big middle finger to the true fans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Yeah, to me, it was like he just like took a dump on like everything that people love about Halloween.
I do have to give Resurrection credit. I've said this before. I got to give it credit for trying something new. I thought the reality series idea was a good idea. You know, they tried something a little different.
Yeah,
I think if it would have had a little better follow through, maybe it would have worked.
I actually like the way it opened. I think the first 15 minutes were okay.
I used to think that too. I was like, at least the first 15 minutes you had Jamie Lee Curtis, but then I started looking at it like, man, they really didn't give her very much respect in the way they killed her off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and of course the whole switched bodies with the paramedic thing, that was just so. I was like, talk about grasping at straws that aren't even there, you know?
Yeah, that was a little implausible even for Myers.
Right. I mean, I said it too. As much as I love Halloween, I said this back when I saw H2O in the theaters for the first time. As we were walking out of the theater, I told my buddies, I said, all right, that's it. If they bring him back after this one, you know, and back then we weren't thinking about remakes, you know, we didn't think about remakes back then.
Yeah, true.
I was like, if they bring him back after this one, no, we're done. It just, you can't bring him back from his head being chopped off. You can't.
I know.
And then they tried to pull that bullshit, and it was like, what the fuck?
It just shouldn't have been made. It just should not have been made.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna kick back a little bit, guys. Oh, yeah.
What up, Hobbs Horror?
Hobbs, what up, my brother?
All right, guys. Next one is the best score in the Halloween franchise. What is your favorite score in the franchise?
Oh, I'm probably going to stick with number one on this one. Original score is iconic. Close runner up there was Halloween 2018. I love what John Carpenter did with that.
Yeah.
And even though I hate the movie, I think part 3 has a pretty decent score. It's about the only thing I like about that film was the music.
Yeah, actually, it was pretty cool. And it kind of was, it was a little bit similar to 2 in a way with the synthesizers.
It was all Carpenter. That's how he wanted to link the films, was through the music.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, definitely the original. I mean, it's just like I've tried. I don't know if you've ever done it. Watch Halloween with the sound off, and it's just so weird. You know, in your head.
I've actually never done that.
Yeah, I've done it before, because I remember the story of him, you know, showing it to people and everybody hating it without the music.
Yeah, I heard him talk about that, John.
And then
Carpenter.
they put the music on and replayed it for the audience again, and everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the music brings life into the film. It brings the life more. It gives more life to the characters. You know, it gives them more. It's like a character in its own. It's a personality. It gives the film a soul.
Couldn't agree more. How about you, Hellhound?
The original, by far.
Nice.
Bronco summed it up pretty nicely. I don't think there's anything else I need to add.
I'll start letting you guys go first. That way I don't do all the talking.
Yeah, it's tough to argue with that. Mm-hmm. But me personally, I ain't going Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I hate to go against the grain, but I don't know. I just feel I like that gothic style of the keyboards.
It does. It does have a little
like a church organ, like that old school horror style.
I just always felt that there wasn't much difference between 1 and 2, as far as the score went. And I think that's what helps them marry up so close together.
Yeah, it's just amped up and
the main theme is a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons
I found it scarier. I don't know.
Feature. In fact, I wish they would put out an edition where it's 1 and 2 combined. Just like
that'd be cool.
Combined completely, and that'd be badass.
The opening of part 2 is a little different from the ending of part 1, so you have to.
Yeah, you can edit, like do a little editing in there, and like mix and match and put them together. But I think it would be a really cool. It'd be a very long movie, but it'd be something just cool to have, something cool to own for collectors.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like now, I got like 10 editions of Halloween, so
Yeah.
Well, I might as well add an 11th,
Now that I got a 4K, I want to get the 4K Halloween.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even have a 4K player, and I still want to get the 4K. I'm gonna get a 4K player though. I just haven't got one yet. I got a 4K TV. I might as well get a player.
Do PS4s play 4K?
No. PS4s are Blu-ray, and Xbox Ones are Blu-ray.
Okay.
I hear the PS5s are going to be 4K, and I think whatever the new Xbox called, I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's going to be 4K.
Awesome.
That's a good point, Craig. Jaws without the music. Imagine Jaws, or like Hobbs says, with Elm Street without.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That it is different because that Elm Street score is almost as iconic among horror fans as the the Michael Myers theme.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was just simple notes on a keyboard that was.
That's very powerful. So number 7 is, are you a fan of the brother-sister angle introduced in Halloween 2? That's another
I'll let you guys go first this time.
You go, Hellhound.
This is going to be controversial, but honestly, no. I think it's scarier when he targets random victims. When they have a connection, it makes it a little less scarier. Because then, if I'm not his family member, I'll just stay out of his way, and chances are maybe I'll survive. I know he kills people that aren't related to him too, but I don't know. I'm glad they went that way though, because they had to give the franchise legs. And I think it's cooler when Jamie is his niece and all that stuff. I think it is like better that they went with that overall. But that when it comes down to it, I've never really been a fan of that. And I'm really glad that the new one did away with it. It just makes him scarier to me. That's all. That's the only reason. And it doesn't make any sense either how Loomis didn't know that they weren't siblings. How could he have not known? That makes no sense. And
he didn't see the file, according to
she was born later.
A secret file hidden by the courts, or whatever.
But how is it hidden? It would have been well known at the time. I don't know. It just seems.
Well, adoption files are very, very secretive. They don't let people access that shit at all. That part of it's very true.
Well, was she adopted out before Michael Myers killed his other sister? Or?
No, she wasn't even born yet when he killed the sister.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't have in that movie. They were
right.
It was Rob Zombie that made her alive when that happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, she wasn't even born yet, and I love the brother sister angle. I think it's great, but I do feel after we had even, and I love as much as I love 2018, I would thought that was the one thing that if they were going to put it after a movie, they should have put it after two. And I think it should have been Halloween 1, 2, then 2018. Kind of like Halloween H2O is 1, 2, 2018. That's their storyline. Now, I've said it a million times, and if you go back and watch that video I did a couple Father's Days ago, I run through how the whole original movies run together, how you can make a fluid storyline. But that's just how I like to enjoy them. I feel like with these new movies, especially, I like you said, I love when he just goes after like random people, and I almost wonder though if in the new movies, how did he know or in the original movie, how did he know that Lori was his sister? How did he know which girl to go after? I wonder in the original movie, of course, they hadn't introduced that angle yet, so he was just stalking some babysitters, and then it turns out that one was his sister. And I don't think, in my mind, the Michael that's in 1 and 2, Michael did not even know that Lori was his sister when he was going after her. He doesn't know that until part 4, in my opinion.
That's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
well, if you look at Lori's dream sequence in part 2, she visits him in the sanitarium.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, everybody knew the story. Everybody knew the story of Michael Myers in that town. So she would have known about him. She just didn't know she was his brother or his sister.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't remember visiting him for some reason. That's another thing that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know if she ever actually visited him or if she just had a dream about it,
Oh, yeah. It could have just been a dream.
And the dream, the foster mother tells her about it. Remember? She's like,
yeah,
I'm not your mother, or whatever,
Well, she knew she was adopted.
Yeah.
She just didn't know. And I think she didn't realize why she was having. She didn't. If you really remember in part 2, she had that dream. And then she woke up. And then didn't somebody tell her that was her brother? Or no, we never get that real. She never gets told in the movie.
No, nobody tells her during the movie.
She doesn't know that it's her brother either until after the film. Yeah.
Why me? Why me?
Right. That's exactly right. She doesn't know.
Yeah, when Jimmy's talking to her, and then she's like, "Why me?"
I still love to think that when she dies in the car crash before part 4, I still love to think that her and her husband faked their deaths. They left their child behind. They went off and had another child. And the reason she became an alcoholic was she felt so guilty about leaving her first child when she heard that the child had died, later in part 6. When she heard that her daughter had died, it drove her over the edge into being a raging alcoholic.
That does make sense. I think they filmed it that way so that you could interpret it that way.
Well, there was like bits and pieces in there that alluded to the other movies,
They got deleted.
Yeah, the clipping on the wall of Dr. Loomis's office that talked about the car crash that killed her.
Yeah.
And she even says it. I faked my death,
Plus, Dr. Loomis survived the fire.
Right. Yeah, she says I faked my death in part, and that's why I think H2O works so well. But I never bought into the idea that you had to discount 4, 5, and 6 to enjoy H2O. You could add them together. So, little off topic, but hey.
Yeah, I suppose, but they could have mentioned it somehow, the events.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact that we grew up with it that makes me so against them changing it.
Yeah. That always bothered me about H2O.
Yeah.
What's up, Cody Ray? Well, I can see it from both sides on this topic. I know it's a tough one. A lot of people either love it or hate it, the brother sister angle, and I see it from both sides. To me, it works either way. Um, it works as a great, like, shocking twist, like, especially for Halloween 2 on itself. You're like, "Oh, shit," you know? You know? It's a brother. May not have been totally necessary, but it works as a great classic twist, you know?
Right.
And it does kinda make sense too, if you put it all together.
And there's something more I want to add to this, but we actually have the topic later about what we want to see coming up. So we'll address that then.
Anyway, I've always been a fan of it, but it didn't bother me so much that they took it away for 2018 because they did a pretty good job with it. So
I agree. It doesn't bother me that much. It did at first, but now I'm like, that's fine. And they always could rewrite it and say that she was the brother, and they just if they're ignoring part 2, she could find out 40 years later that was her brother. You know, I mean, they can do. I mean, there's nothing saying they can't. But
then that girl, when they're talking, and the guy asks her, well, wasn't it her brother that went crazy? And then
no, that was just a rumor.
Yeah, or we just find out that it really was her brother, but the family is like trying to keep that under wraps, and they try to dismiss it as a rumor. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to be known as the sister to the serial killer? You know? Yeah, somebody made that up. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the hell out of here before I shoot you in the head while I'm singing my little song and drinking my wine.
All right, guys, this is going to be a fun one.
You're just mad because it did so well.
Do you think Halloween 3 is underrated?
Go ahead, guys. I'll let you talk first.
Hellhound, you go.
Here's the thing about Halloween 3. You either love it or you hate it. I have always been one of the few horror fans that doesn't really have much of an opinion about it, except I think it was an awesome idea about the masks doing disgusting things to its wearers and all that stuff with the druids and everything. I thought that's a great idea. I don't think it was executed the best way. And also, if you're going to put Tom Atkins in a movie, use him the right way. Make him a total badass. You know, come on. Don't make him like that. He was still a great lead. I still like him in that movie, but I don't know. I guess I'm just used to Night of the Creeps and The Fog and others. But yeah, I think it was a great concept. Meh execution. And the fact that it's part of the Halloween franchise, when it really doesn't belong, I think it's interesting. I think the Halloween franchise is interesting that it has that one entry that's not really related to the others. I think that makes it more unique. So that's never been a problem for me. It doesn't bother me that Michael Myers isn't in the movie. So that's not my issue with it. My issue with it is that it could have been a lot better.
I totally agree with you on that. It was a pretty cool idea and a concept. It could have been executed better. Maybe if John Carpenter directed it himself. It is kind of weird to have one that doesn't have anything to do with the Michael Myers saga or that storyline. But it's funny. The funny thing is, a lot of it feels like a Halloween movie with score and like the android characters have kind of similar aspects of Michael Myers in a way.
Yeah,
and there's some cool like slasher kills in there, like using those characters, and you have Dick Warlock in there as one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
And you got a lot of stuff like Jamie Lee Curtis's voice over the loudspeaker of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Nancy Keys in there as Tom Atkins' wife. A lot of stuff like that.
And technically,
it's like
Michael Myers
Halloween movie. Yeah. It's like a Halloween feeling movie without Michael. It's weird.
There's a lot of good stuff in it.
I hate that movie. I fucking hate it. If even one person says something good about that movie, that makes it overrated in my opinion, because it's a terrible fucking movie. The premise is stupid. The movie is stupid. The androids are really stupid. Everything about that movie sucks except for the score. And I want to know what kind of acid they were doing when they wrote it. You know, I don't really care if they want to do something about Michael or not, but this movie was terrible. In my opinion, it doesn't feel like Halloween at all. I can't stand that movie. It is so dumb. I mean, and Tom Atkins. How does Tom Atkins pull that kind of tail? Come on. I mean, there is, and oh god, I could go on. I'm getting like frustrated just thinking about it. Oh, I just can't do it, man. I can't stand that film. I'm bored to death. I'll usually fall asleep before it's even 10 minutes in. I'm just like, oh my god, it is so freaking bad. I'll never understand the concept. I will always think that honestly, to me, it's like a retard wrote it. It's like if I gave my 4-year-old and said, "Here, go write a movie," and there you go, and that's what came out. You know, it reminds me of like those stories.
It doesn't bother me that much. It's all right, but I think a lot of people like go crazy with it. They love it. They think it's like the best Halloween. I'm like, what?
I think
I'm like, hold on, back up.
The fact that it's included in the Halloween franchise should like earn whoever did that a one-way ticket to hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it should not even be a part of this franchise. It should have been disowned from the start. They should have thrown it out and called it Season of the Witch Sucks Ass, but that's my opinion. No. And it gets skipped over every time. Every freaking time.
I'm just glad that it was a one shot and they didn't keep going with the anthology thing. Because no, I want Michael Myers in my Halloween.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
And luckily,
one
with
shot is okay. Okay, you got it out of your system.
Later, Cody.
Later.
Okay, guys, what's your favorite final girl in the Halloween franchise?
That's a Laurie no-brainer, Laurie. More specifically, Laurie in H2O is my favorite.
H2O, huh?
I will never she's badass in 2018. I loved her in 2018. I felt for her, and I thought she was strong enough to survive 1 and 2. And her performances were iconic, and that's what made her so endearing to people. But in 2018, there's that moment, that snap moment where she decides, and it's when her kid was in danger. Mm-hmm. She decides that she's going to go out there and find her son. She gets the gun out, remember?
Yeah.
But that's not the moment. The moment where she puts them in the car and she makes them drive away. And you can see that she has made a snap decision in her brain to say enough is fucking enough. And she's got that fire exit. She's like, Michael! I just was like, in the theater, I was like, yes. I was like, get her or get him. I was like, go. I had been wanting to see that for, well, at that point, I wasn't alive when the original came out, and I didn't start watching Halloween so I'd probably wanted to see that for about 10 years. I wanted to see a real confrontation between those two. And yeah, she's very badass in the new one. But that I think she really had a passion in 2018. I think that, or in H2O,
and
I think that she really showed that how much she loved the characters and how much she loved the franchise.
Good point. All right, Craig, there with the dad with the peanut butter and the penis. Get out of here. I hate that part.
Me too.
To me, that was their one salute to the Rob Zombie films.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it. That was their one nod to the Rob Zombie movies. And it was a bad joke, which is what those movies were. So,
yeah, that's a bad joke.
Yeah, they were big time.
How about you, Hellhound?
Laurie
Favorite
Strode.
final girl? What's that?
Laurie Strode.
Nice.
And I guess in the first one, if I had to pick, she wasn't as badass as she was in later movies, but she wasn't just a helpless victim either. She actually did fight back and stuff.
yeah, she tried to fight back. She was scared as shit, but she fought back.
Yeah, she did. I'll add that she didn't really have much to do in part 2. She did shoot his eyeballs out, but,
Yeah.
or around his eyes, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how where the bullets went, because obviously he got his sight back, and
Yeah.
they didn't kill him either. So
He just had blood in his eyes. That's why I couldn't see.
I was sitting there like, what? Did Loomis load that fucking thing with blanks or what?
Yeah.
No, not even close, bro.
Well, how about this?
Or Halloween 2018 is the highest grossing Halloween horror film.
Is that true?
Yes.
Ah.
It's very true.
Cool.
And H2 really didn't do very well.
No.
It didn't do near as well as now the Rob Zombie one did pretty well. In fact, I'll tell you what they are right here.
Well, how about this? We're all in agreement. Laurie Strode is the best final girl. The spattered trio agrees.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go like Hellhound. The original is my favorite performance. Yeah, but I liked all her performances.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt she was more, maybe because she was more likable in the original. I really could identify with the character. She was very likable, and she was like, the girl next door. You didn't want anything bad to happen to her, really.
Right.
And the way she handled it, she rose above. She wasn't just a victim, like Hellhound says.
The original Halloween.
She decided to fight for her life.
Right. The original Halloween back in '78, worldwide box office total was $70 million. That's pretty good for '78 on a $325,000 budget.
That is good.
Exactly.
The Rob Zombie Halloween film worldwide total on a $15 million budget only made $77 million. So technically, it didn't even do as good as the original.
Wow.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 only made $38 million off a $15 million budget. Halloween 2018 on a $10 million budget made $255 million, making it the highest grossing film in the franchise.
Wow.
H2O made $55 million off of a $17 million budget. Curse of Michael Myers was a $5 million budget, and it made $15 million. Halloween 5 made $11 million off a $6 million budget. Halloween 4 made $17 million off a $5 million budget. Halloween 3 made $14 million off of a $2.5 million budget. And Halloween 2 made $25 million off of a $2.5 million budget.
Wow, I thought 4 was more successful than that. It was considered a hit, wasn't it?
Well, that
only
was a
made
hit back at the
17
time.
million.
Well, back at that time, that was a lot of money. I mean,
I suppose at that time, yeah.
And it was off a $5 million budget, so it tripled its money.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I think Halloween Kills is going to do even better than Halloween 2018, though. Even people that hated 2018 are really looking forward to Kills.
Oh, yeah?
I agree, Trenchy. I think that Rachel is also a very awesome final girl. Laurie's just so beloved by the whole fandom.
Well, yeah, Rachel's kind of a similar character in a way.
Rachel was a strong one. She was really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, she protected that little girl throughout part 4. And even Tina, even though people hate Tina, she was pretty strong too. I mean, she tried to keep them out of danger pretty well, you know. So
not very well liked by the horror fans, Tina.
Not at all.
I always thought she got a bad rap, but that's me. We all have that friend that's like her, you know.
Yeah.
Growing up or whatever, we all had that friend that was like overly top energetic and
yeah,
kind of annoying, and you're like, "Shut up, dude," or whatever, you know.
All bubbly and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have a problem with her. At least she had personality, and like some of the people in that movie were terrible.
Well, that's one thing I will say about the Halloween franchise. At least we get some sort of investment in our characters. They're not like the Friday the 13th characters, which are all just plain cannon fodder. You know, most of the people in that franchise are cannon fodder.
Yeah.
I mean, with some exceptions, part 4, the remake. That's pretty much it. Part 4 and the remake, and maybe 10. Jason X has some good characters, but part 2 has some decent characters. Part 2, 4, yeah. I mean, aside from that, there were cannon fodder, and you know, like I can't even remember the final girl's name in half the movies, you know, for that franchise. So I do remember the one in 5, I think, was the hottest, except for the remake.
Yeah. Pam?
Is that what her name was? Pam? Yeah.
Part 5.
All the freaking people got naked in that movie, but she wouldn't take her shirt off. What the hell?
Yeah, Craig makes a good point there. The scare of COVID might hurt the Halloween Kills gross.
Probably. It might. It depends on when they release it. If they wait till next year, it might help it. If they try to do this video on demand thing, which, you know, with AMC saying they're not going to play Universal, it might hurt it. It really might. I will not watch it on demand. If they put it out, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying 20 fucking bucks to rent a movie, to rent it.
Not even for Halloween?
Not even for Halloween. No. I'm not paying $20 to rent a movie. I wouldn't pay that much to rent a Star Wars movie. You know, I'll wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD if that's the case, and then I'll fucking buy it for 20 bucks. At least I'll own it then. You know, I mean, I'm not sure, Craig. I really, as far as I know, most dates on a lot of these films have just kind of been put in limbo. Like, I know a couple of theaters and places that are opening up their theaters. They've already released like Wonder Woman, but I don't think it's made like but a couple million. I don't think it's even made $1 million yet. I'm not sure. It's only like a couple places. Yeah, like Jen said that she drove 3 hours away to a town in a different state to watch it in a movie theater. You know, I mean, so
damn, that's dedication.
I don't know how much money they're making, you know, but it can't be that much. You know. Yeah.
What about you, Hellhound? Would you, if it comes on video on demand, are you gonna pay to see it?
If that's the only way to do it, if I have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got.
Yeah, I'll bite the bullet. I'll do it. But
the only thing that would make me do it is the fear that everybody else's reviews would be up and mine would come much later and nobody would watch it.
But, I mean, I'm gonna see it either way. You know, I really
honestly, I would really like to see them do what they're doing with a couple of the movies right now. They're just putting them straight onto either Netflix and onto Blu-ray already. They're just going straight to Blu-ray, and I don't know if I would consider them straight because. And then that's what we were discussing that last night. I think they should give them a Blu-ray release, and then when everything's cleared up, then put them in theaters. People are still going to want that theater experience. They're still going to go. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
So you're saying they should do both, release it in the theater and Blu-ray at the same time?
Oh, well, I'm saying if they can't release it in theaters right now, I don't think they should put it on video on demand. I think they should release it on Blu-ray and then just release it in theaters later.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Yo, Dave.
I'm not a fan of streaming, and like I watched Leprechaun Returns on stream.
Me too.
But I also did it on Vudu, and since it was the first time I ever did it, I got it for 99 cents.
I waited until it was free.
Yeah, I got it for 3 days on 99 cents, and that's cool. I'll do that, but I'm not gonna pay $20 fucking when all I get it for is a day. I don't even get to own the fucking movie. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's too much to rent.
I'll be honest, I did that for Invisible Man. I paid like $25.
And how long did you get to keep it for?
Sucker, I'm a sucker.
How long did you get to keep it for?
I don't know. It wasn't on my TV, so I don't know if it just stays there for life or what.
Hello, Drum Smash.
What's up, Drum Smash 88?
Yo.
All right, moving on to the next one. Quote your favorite Dr. Loomis line from the franchise.
I think we're probably gonna all have the same answer on this one.
We should just do it together, right?
Yeah.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Yeah, that whole monologue. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Also really like you don't know what death is at the beginning of Halloween too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
I like when he's in the truck with the old crazy dude. And I can't remember what's the guy's name right now? The crazy guy in the truck, the preacher.
The priest guy? I don't remember.
I can't remember his name, but he asks him because he tells him his name. And he's like, "What is it you're chasing, mister?" You know.
I got a face and a name.
Yeah, I like that. And then yes, Drum Smash got it right there. That's my favorite line from Dr. Loomis, though. The monologues are great, all the great lines he's got. But that's just I love that line. I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 times. Or I also really love during that monologue when he's like, I saw him looking through the wall, past not seeing the wall, looking at this night, you know.
Yeah, that's
I loved that. No.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great lines.
Or
so many.
In part 6, when they're like, "Oh, this Dr. Loomis guy, where the hell is he anyways? He's probably dead." And he looks around, and he's like, "No, just very much retired." I just I know it sounds dumb, but I love his delivery on those simple little lines, you know.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
too.
You can't kill damnation. Yep.
Hey, what's up? Horrific Nightmares JM.
So what's the best Michael Myers line?
There's only he talked in the remake there.
No, God. The best Michael Myers line should have been in H2. It should have been, Mom, what the fuck is with this fucking white horse? We lived in a fucking city where we were dirt poor. I'd never even seen a fucking horse. What's with the horse? That should have been his best line.
I agree.
That's one of my biggest gripes with that, especially with H2. They turned him into such a mama's boy. They basically turned him into Jason.
Yeah, he was too similar to Jason.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Being big isn't good either. That's too similar to Jason too.
I didn't mind that so much. I thought Tyler Mane was a good, intimidating Michael. Yeah. And I didn't mind seeing him real big, but I thought Tyler Mane's presence is what made that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't buy it when he was like in the chains and being all docile and shit and all like, I didn't buy it. That didn't, that wasn't Michael to me. It just, I was like, no.
I have to admit, I laugh when Ronnie makes fun of him. He's like, oh, we're going to be late.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a douche, but he's kind of funny.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, skull fuck shit out of you.
That line should never have been uttered in a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact, and whether you want to make your Laurie different, you don't have to do the same thing Jamie Lee Curtis did. But did you really need to finger fuck a bagel to show how different you were?
I know, yeah. I hate that.
There's things that they did in that movie that were just so unnecessary. They could have given a good, solid take on the character without copying what came before. But they didn't have to like go so far over the edge to show, oh, we're the edgy Halloween. We're the new age. We're the we don't give a fuck. We say what we want. We take no prisoners. They didn't have to do that, but they did.
True. A lot of bad dialogue, badly written dialogue, I think.
And I think it shows in the box office numbers when the second movie only made half of what the first one did.
Yep. So the next one, guys, is what is your favorite Dr. Loomis performance?
The original.
Brad?
Yeah, I'd probably say, I don't know. I really like him in part 5. I like the manic, like he's kind of an asshole to the little kid, but it's because he's so afraid. He knows what's going to happen and he wants to stop it so bad, but I know people hate on it, but I like that manic performance. But yes, it's still going to be my favorite. Is still going to be the original. He made an iconic character within that time.
Yeah.
And if you really watch the movie, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. But what he did, he made it just absolutely iconic.
Absolutely. I completely agree. He just owned it. I mean, come on. He just, like you said, he created an iconic character in the history, in the annals of horror.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my answer is going to be the original as well. So here we go again. We all agree.
I noticed that nobody in the chat saying the Malcolm McDowell performance. He didn't do a terrible job. He tried. He did it in the first one.
The first one, he was pretty good.
Yeah. It wasn't, the way I look at it is it wasn't his performance. It was the way it was written.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
And it just, I didn't like it. Yeah.
I didn't like when when they gave him some of the same lines. I didn't like his delivery as much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because I was so used to
Right.
Pleasant saying those lines. It's kind of weird to hear somebody else say the same lines.
Yeah, Drum Smash. I'm gonna give your channel a look-see here in a second.
But I agree. In the first one, he didn't bother me too much. He was all right. But the second, now that's a different story.
You know,
All right, guys. So next one's gonna be open discussion on your favorite kill scenes in the franchise. Let's do it.
all about that hot tub kill in part 2.
Oh yes, that's such a great kill.
Hell yeah.
And people always ask, people always like, how come Michael's hand didn't get burned? It's like, because he's freaking Michael Myers. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
One of the kills that I've really been loving a lot lately is in 2018 when those security lights go off and then they go on and then they go off and then they go on and then they go on again, and dude's fucking hanging there on the fucking gate with the thing shoved up through his neck and shit. Fucking love that.
That was a cool scene. Also, if it came to 2018, I think my favorite is the Sartain kill.
That is
on his head
so
like
brutal.
Squashed like a pumpkin. I love
brutal fucking kill.
Yeah.
I love the kill of the cops. I love. My favorite kill though is still that nurse that's just in that corridor in part 6, and he picks her up, and there's just this random spike for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, just poking out of the wall, and he just puts her head right through it. Hey, Drum Smash, I can't find your channel like at all.
I don't think he has one. I think he's just like a fan.
I'm trying to find it here. I'm looking it up, everything up I can, and I can't find it. So
Trenchcoat mentions a cool one. The chick with a shotgun when he puts a shotgun right through her and through the door.
Part 4, love that.
Yeah.
What I really would have loved to see with that kill though is like he puts the shotgun through her, and then like, and I've seen this done in another movie, but it was kind of comical. But I've loved to see in that when he puts the shotgun through her, if somebody would have been standing on the other side and he pulled the fucking trigger,
Hey, fires.
you know, yeah, that would have been badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just there are so many great kills, and going all the way back to the Bob kill, you know,
in the original film, yeah, that's classic.
Him up, I mean, could you imagine the power and the force he had to use to pick him up and stick him through that door?
How did he stick him exactly? Was that knife really that long?
It was a big ass butcher knife. I mean, that's where you got the the movie magic kind of turn your brain off deal, I guess. But I think it was just cool. And then the afterwards when he just looks at him, and
classic.
And then I also thought that the Jamie Lloyd kill, not in the producers cut, but in the theatrical cut, was really good and really brutal.
It was brutal.
I love that kill. That was so fucking, oh my god, that's evil. And even in Resurrection, there's a really good kill in Resurrection where he uses a butcher knife and he chops that chick's head off and it bounces down the stairs.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I fucking loved it. I love that kill. Resurrection is a movie I still have some enjoyment with. I know how terrible it is. I hate but I don't hate it like I hate, H2, like or even Halloween 3. But Halloween 3 I think is stupid. H2 I think makes me angry. But Resurrection's kind of like Seed of Chucky. I can watch it and be like, that was just dumb, and kind of laugh at it,
It's just dumb.
Yeah. but I can get some, and I can still get some enjoyment out of it. Yeah, the part in part 5 where he scratches, where the dude gets his car scratched, and then he kills him, and he's wearing that brute mask or whatever.
Oh, that's a cool one. I like that one.
I agree, Dave. There's a couple things in the producer's cut that I like, but honestly, the producer's cut, and I looked forward to watching it for so many years. We had been hearing the rumors of the supposed producer's cut. And then the bootleg copy started going around, and then they actually released it, and I'll watch it. I don't hate it, but there's a lot I don't like the whole runes thing and the, bringing in like Dungeons and Dragons type elements, So
I don't know. For me, it kind of flowed better. It made more sense to me.
Does it?
I think so, story-wise, and you get more Dr. Loomis. That's always a good thing.
That's about the only thing I liked, was you got more Loomis.
Yeah, because in the
thing that was better, in my opinion.
I think that his death in the theatrical cut makes more sense, though, where he goes back inside and he screams because Michael's gotten him
instead of having a thorn tattoo.
Yeah, but that bothered. I like the Cult of Thorns storyline. I really like that storyline. But having it like magically appear on his wrist and now he's like the fucking leader, that was just like the dumbest thing ever.
That's a little too out there for me.
Sorry, Jay.
Well, the thing that bothers me about the theatrical is when Michael just kills everybody in the cult at once. It's a pretty cool scene, but it's like, okay, was he ever even part of it or what? Like, it's,
I like that. It makes me think he was just using them.
See, that's how the theatrical cut plays to me. The theatrical cut is he's using them. The producer's cut is like he's sort of like subservient. And it also hints about, the baby being his, and that just that just grosses me out. I don't like that at all.
Michael,
I don't think
Daddy ruins the producer's cut for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a little rough. But at least they show him there with the cult. In the theatrical, he's never shown with them. So how do you know that he's really with them, especially when he just kills them off, They could have just been making it up in their head, or that he's part of it, or they worship him.
Yeah, I always felt like they were, and in the producer's cut, they set it up to where that the cult is the reason for Michael's power and him being that way he is. In the theatrical cut, it plays as they worship Michael, that he came first, and they worship him.
That's better. Way better.
Definitely better.
All right, guys, I'm just gonna mention another one of my favorite kills randomly.
Go ahead, brother.
I know I talk a lot about 2, but my favorite kills are in part 2. I can't
hot tub kills
deny it. So the other one I loved in part 2 was Nurse Janet's death. The scene where it was kind of similar to the original, where he slowly emerges from the dark,
right?
And then the syringe in the eye, in the temple.
That was great.
Yeah,
freaking awesome the way he filmed it.
The claw hammer, the claw hammer to the security guy's head was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason did that too in Friday 13th Part 2.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
they both did that. Right. But yeah, that hot tub scene.
Any other great kills you guys want to mention?
That hot tub kill scene was my favorite for the longest time. I mean, it was so good. It's not a kill scene, but and this movie's so underrated in my opinion. I really like when they're when in part 5, when he's in the car driving it and they're running ahead and he's chasing him with the car.
Yeah.
I fucking love that, man. It's so intense.
I like that too. Hellhound, you got any more favorite kills you want to mention?
I think that about covers it.
All right, so moving on. Thoughts on Danielle Harris in the franchise, including the Rob Zombie films?
Love her. She's my second favorite next to Laurie Strode. Jamie Lloyd, she's my second favorite protagonist. And she should have played Laurie Strode in the Rob Zombie movies.
Laurie Strode. Oh, really?
I really love her in 4 and 5. I wish she would have came back for 6. I think they did kind of screw her around a little bit.
Yeah, with Jason.
Yeah, that's
honestly, I've gotten so tired of hearing her whine about it that she just bugs me now. I'm like, just shut the fuck up already. And the fact that they're not I think if she would shut her mouth, they might actually put her in the new movies. But no, she whines and bitches too much, and that's annoying to people. You know, but in the Rob Zombie films, I didn't really buy her. I didn't really like her that much in those. But like I said, though, they show her naked, and to me, she's always going to be that 6-7-year-old little girl. I don't want to see her naked.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, that's just me. I don't. I know a lot of people think she's hot, and yes, she's hot, but not to me. She's not. Like, to me, she's a kid. She's always going to be a kid because I'll probably go tomorrow and watch Halloween 4, and she's going to be a little kid. Mm-hmm. I don't. And I get it. I get that she's my age too, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch Halloween 4 right away, you know. I didn't see it till a couple years later, and so she was younger than to me. So I just like there's some people that I wanted to see naked since I was a little kid, but like Topanga from the fucking Boy Meets World show. But I grew up with watching that show, and the only reason I watched it was because of her, because I thought she was hot, you know. And
yeah,
but that's just my own weirdness. I'm just weird like that, you know.
Well, I agree. It is kind of weird when you see her in the remake, and then she's naked. All like, whoa, it's weird because we saw her as a kid, you know.
Right.
So I love her in 4 and 5 and 5. I know maybe some people have issue with her in 5 being mute and stuff, but I really liked her performance. Especially she had to do a lot of physical stuff in that role. Like in the 5 when she's trapped in the laundry chute thing.
Such a great scene.
That's awesome.
Still one of the best third acts in my opinion.
And like you said, when he's chasing her with a car, trying to run her over, there's a lot of physical stuff in that movie.
And he was a pro driver too, so he was able to, you know, really,
you
know.
And yeah, it was disappointing in 4 sometimes. At first, that we didn't get Jamie Lee Curtis back, you know, because she's a big time player at that point, I guess.
Yeah. Well, but I think too. I
they
think
did the best thing because they introduced a new. Yeah.
Even though she really loves the franchise, and she said it, you know, I think at that time she was trying to do other things in her career. She had already been labeled as a scream queen because she had done the Halloweens and Prom Night and Terror Train. You know, but then she was doing other stuff. She was doing, I mean, she went and did True Lies and what was that chick flick she did? I don't remember what it's called, but she just did more diverse roles. And I think that's what she was looking for, was more diversity.
Yeah. I agree. But anyway, I think getting Jamie Lloyd as a character was a really good character, and she became beloved to the franchise, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really connected with her, I accepted her, you know. And like you said, it
would have been cool.
And like you said, it was disappointing not to have her in 6, you know.
Yeah. What were you saying, Pat?
But it would be cool. Would have been cool to see a movie with her, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Danielle Harris.
I know, that's what I wanted. You know.
Yeah. I wanted Danielle Harris to play. I wanted Danielle Harris to play the character of Jamie Lloyd in 2018.
Me too.
But that's what I wanted. But it's like with Star Wars. Just because I want something, I'm not going to bitch and moan that I didn't get it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what we got. I enjoyed it.
What about you, Hellhound? Were you happy with 2018 the way it was? With I always forget her name. Judy Greer as Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked her, and I didn't have a problem with her at all. Some people do, though. Some people don't like her. So yeah, and as far as the remakes go for Rob Zombie, Danielle Harris, I actually didn't care for her that much in the first one. I thought she was a little goofy. I don't know what it is. I didn't quite like her performance as much. I was a little bit disappointed. What about you guys?
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah, I could give
I
her
didn't care.
take it.
I thought in the second one she was better.
I could take it or leave it. I really, like I said, I had no investment in the characters whatsoever in those movies.
Yeah, me neither.
No investment. I don't know. I thought she stepped it up in the second one. I thought she was a little more powerful and believable.
Perhaps.
Kind of war torn from Michael, the abuse she took from him in the first movie. All right, so what is your favorite Halloween related item that you own in your collection?
Okay, this is actually kind of a tough one for me. My favorite things that I own for Halloween are my 2 Michael Myers masks that I absolutely love. You know, they're both amazing masks. They're both very good quality. But I've said this before too. The only 2 things I like from the Rob Zombie Halloween, like really liked, was the mask and my 18-inch Michael Myers action figure up there.
Nice.
That thing is just the coolest fucking figure ever. It's right there. No, sorry.
Sweet. Yeah. You got a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, I've actually got to do some rearranging. I got a lot of things. I got those new He-Man castles and stuff back there, the ones I got. And I got to do some rearranging and try and figure out a new way to put everything. I'm actually thinking about let me see. I'm thinking about taking everything off that wall and putting shelving along the entire wall, just up and down all the way to the desk, basically.
Damn, you got a lot of masks.
Yeah.
I used to have a Michael Myers mask.
Is that your favorite thing that you have, Hellhound?
No, this is.
Ah.
Myers.
Is that the NECA one?
Yeah,
is that the 2018 version?
Yeah. I'd rather have one from part 1 or 2, but oh well, this is a pretty cool figure.
I have the Todd McFarlane movie Maniacs line one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I have
that one too.
Down there. He's on this tall shelf by my wife on the very bottom.
That's awesome.
Maybe I have it too. You see it back there?
Yeah, yours is still in the package. Mine is
in the
box. Yeah. Yeah, I took mine out because I wanted
Try
to
and move
spray
ahead.
it.
Yeah, I always take mine out of the packaging.
Somewhat. Mostly, I keep them in the packages, depending on what they are. Oh, I almost forgot. Also sitting up there, you can't see it, but also sitting up there, one of my new favorite things is the Savage World Michael Myers that makes him look like a He-Man figure.
Oh yeah, and they're all
Dude, I
jacked up.
fucking love that thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy another one just so I can open it and have him square off against He-Man on my castle over there.
Nice.
Oh,
So mine would be this here, Jamie Lee Curtis's signed autograph.
I knew
I
you were
love
gonna
that
say
picture
that.
too.
You know, that's awesome. You know, your wife got you that. That's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
My wife's never gotten me anything that cool before.
Now, I'm sure that's not true.
I'm just teasing. Every time she asks me, "What do you want?" Say, "What do I always want? DVDs and Blu-rays." I mean, as much as I like memorabilia and stuff, if it comes down, that's why I don't have any of the NECA figures. Honestly, I do have the Toonie Terror ones. I like those. I don't have Michael yet, but I need to get him. But the NECA figures are $32 a piece. Well, depending on where I'm at, I can buy anywhere between 2 and 15 movies on them. You know. So that's why I'd rather get movies. I just love movies. So
Did you see what Jason said? You
I'm
should
not
tell
on
him
the
about your
chat. I need to
Danielle
get back.
Harris signed training bra.
That's fucked up, Jay. I'm sorry, Drum. I'm sorry, everybody. I wasn't on the chat. I forgot to switch my window back. Which one do you want, Drum? I'm sorry. I apologize, everybody. I missed your comments. You wish you had the money to collect masks.
It does get expensive.
There's a reason why I only have 2 fucking Michael Myers masks because they're expensive.
I know. That's like, I just got the H2 one and it was like freaking $80 or something.
Yeah, my both of those Michael Myers masks were $80 each. And it took me years, dude. Years. I wanted a Michael Myers mask since I was like 10 years old. And I remember when H2O came out, all the way up through now, I would go to Hot Topic and shit, and I would always see them up there, and they were like $100.
Yeah.
And it was that shitty H2O mask with like the blonde hair that stuck straight up. You remember that thing? And it didn't fit me, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy it too. Was it didn't fit me. My Michael Myers mask barely fits me. It was really tight. My 2018 one fit really comfortable. It's nice and loose. But the last couple of months I've been getting fat again, so now it's like makes me fat, so it's harder on my face. But I am going to get the Halloween 6. I got to get Halloween 6, and I want to get the Halloween 2 with the blood.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I want to get a Rob Zombie Halloween mask.
It's okay. We'll let you do it.
That mask is badass looking, man. It's really cool. You know, that's
It is pretty
not the coolest thing that came out of the movie. So,
my phone's only got 20%. So,
oh, you getting
how many more topics we got?
a couple, like, let's see, 4. So maybe Hellhound, if you could do this last one, we'll have you started off. Thoughts on Halloween 2018 now that we've had a chance to see it a few times?
Loved it. It was everything that I wanted from a sequel. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love it. I love Laurie Strode's Sarah Connor vibe. I love the way James Jude Courtney played the Shape. I love the kills. I really don't have anything bad to say about it too much. I even like the Dr. Sartain character and his fate. So
I completely agree with you, Hellhound. I watched that movie in the theaters, And I'll be honest, my theater experience for that movie was not so great. It was very crowded. There was a ton of people in there, and people were bringing their little kids and shit, and that bothered me because they were being like loud, and they were like, when I eat my candy and shit in the movie, I try to be quiet,
Yeah.
I open all the packaging before the movie, so it's not all like, if I got two different things that I want to eat, I open it all before the movie. But the movie itself was phenomenal. But I'll tell you what, man, when I got that movie home on Blu-ray DVD, and I turned all the lights in this room off, and I watched it in the pitch black and the quietness. Oh my god, dude! It was like a revelation of movie genius. I fucking loved it. I love the writing. Like you said, the Dr. Zartane character. When I first did my initial reaction, I was kind of iffy on him. But the more I watched it, I just really like it. I dug it. It explains how he got loose. It explains how he got free.
Yep, exactly.
I fucking love that movie. And no, Jason, it's not overrated. Halloween 3 is overrated. Even though nobody ever really likes that movie. Just a very vocal minority like Jason. That movie, like you said, Hellhound, it gave me everything I wanted. Just like the new Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, gave me everything I wanted. I loved it. I loved that movie. And I cannot wait for Halloween Kills. Also, Leprechaun Returns. I love that. That was a great 2018 was a good year for horror films, man.
Yes, it was.
2018, early 2019 was really good.
Do you know where the glue is?
No, did you? Please tell me you didn't spill it somewhere.
No, it wasn't open.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say the more I watch it, the more I really like it. So my initial reaction, I had a few issues, but I still really liked it. I thought they did justice to Michael Myers. Michael Myers was badass and awesome in that classic style. And Laurie was great. I loved Jamie Lee's performance. She was really powerful.
Yeah. And the way it was shot.
Yeah. It was shot really nice.
Like that first reveal when we really get to see Michael in the mask for the first time through that back car window. When he shut the trunk, oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's almost like triumphant, like Michael's back. Oh shit.
I would love to get a still frame shot of that autographed by James Jude Courtney.
Awesome stuff. I love the mask too. The way it did the mask was great.
I know. It looks just
and
like
I love the one shot scene, the one take when he does the walk, when he bumps into the kids, and then he goes into the lady from Halloween 2's house, beats her with a hammer, and it's all one
Easter eggs. Yeah.
And then when they show him walking through the lady's backyard and then into her house, and then just jabs her with a knife, awesome stuff.
Yeah. Sean, yeah, I do. I like it a little more every time I watch it too, and that's pretty cool because I liked it a lot the first time I watched it. So I mean, if I re-rank these after kills, who knows? That movie may be up there farther than it was before. I mean, it may replace part 2. I don't see it replacing part 6 yet, but it might. You never know. It's never going to replace part 1, though. Nothing will ever replace part 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Greatest horror movie ever made. I mean,
absolutely.
It's like my next top 20 for 20 list is going to be. Everybody knows what my number 1's going to be because it's best 70s movies.
It's a no-brainer.
Yep, that ain't. But the rest of the list will be interesting. People will like it.
But yeah, I was very much satisfied, and it was a great return to form, a triumphant return to form for Michael Myers.
Yeah, after Resurrection, and then after the 2, it was on that side of the couch, and then I don't know what happened to it. After Resurrection and the two Rob Zombie films, yeah, it was like seeing. It's as if we were all watching back in '78 for the first time again. That's how I felt about it. I was not fortunate enough to be alive and old enough to go watch that movie in '78. So this was like me seeing the original in theaters. And I actually did get to see the original in a theater setting, not in a big one, but it was a small theater, and they were just screening it, you know. But I just love. I wish I could have been there in '78 to see it, you know.
Me too. Yeah, I agree with that drum smash. James Jude Courtney, I mean, amazing job. Really made him old school again. Like he knew how it needed to be and how we want it to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like he just got it, you know?
Yeah, the fact that it was done by people that actually were fans of the films, you know? So I think it's always better when people appreciate the material. And
Right.
that being said, I really want to see Ronnie Yu return to filmmaking.
The guy that did Freddy vs. Jason
and Bride of Chucky, yeah.
Right.
I really like both those movies, and I like his style of filmmaking. So I wouldn't mind seeing him take on a Halloween film.
I might be saying something about that later.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Number 16, Halloween Kills. What do you hope to see, and what do you not want to see?
Hellhound, brother. What do you think on that?
I want to see more references to Halloween too, like they had in 2018, like with the L rods and stuff like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. What if they put them in the hospital?
Hey, that'd be cool.
Like they're all banged up, they're all fucked up, right? Like Jamie Lee Curtis, she could be practically. I mean, we don't know. At the end of the movie, she looked like she was pretty wore out, like she could have been dying.
Yeah,
you know, they could take him to the hospital and do a whole hospital movie like they did. That would be badass.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll have your detractors. People are like, oh, they just ripped off our, but still,
Yeah.
I'd like it.
At least that part of it in the hospital, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that they're going a little overboard with bringing in all of these people that were in the old ones.
Really?
There's a couple people like I was fine with the certain characters like they brought Anthony Michael Hall to play what's his name, Lonnie?
Yeah, I thought that was a stretch. I mean, really.
But then they're bringing back all these different people. Like, okay, so that one person that was in that one scene one time, what do you fucking do?
I know.
But what I really want to see in Halloween Kills is I want to see Laurie die. I want to see Laurie die. I want to see them give her a death worthy of her character, unlike they did in Resurrection. And I want to see, because like you said, they've erased the brother sister angle. And people were like, well, then why did he go back after her in that movie? Because he recognized her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was just going after random people, just like he did. He went back to Haddonfield, to his home, and started killing people. He started killing babysitters. It wasn't until he saw her down on the ground from the room that he recognized her, and he went after her. He's like, oh, that's that bitch. I'm going to go get her.
Yeah.
She fucked me up. I'm going to go get her,
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see her die in this movie. I really want to see it happen. I think if they put her in ends, it's just going to drag it a little too much. We need to get we need to wrap her storyline and get ends to kind of open up what could come next. If I want to see him go back to killing, just going after people again. Like Hellhound was saying. And so if other filmmakers come along later, I mean, who knows what they'll do? I mean, 10 years from now, we may get another one that follows Halloween, or we may get another remake. It's happened before. We've got 2 remakes of Black Christmas now.
And they both suck.
I like the 2006 one, but that's just me. In fact, I like it better than the original.
What? Really?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's psycho stuff.
I have a blast with that movie, man. That movie's so much fun. Eating the flesh cookies to me was like the killer. I loved it. But anyways, yeah, I do. I want to see Laurie. I want to see Laurie die. I want to see them, and then with ends, he should go after like her daughter and granddaughter, and they need to
Yeah.
put a nice round. They need to give closure to it. They said
Yeah.
this is going to be their last part, that they're not going to do anything after it ends. But if somebody else comes along later and they want to do something, it'll be totally different. So let's put a nice little closure on this, and then we can get a nice box set release of 2018 kills ends, and then I have something else to collect and waste my money on. I mean, I already bought that Target exclusive of Halloween 78 and Halloween 2018. I've got that. That was a Target exclusive. You couldn't get it anywhere but Target. Now it's out of print.
So, Brad, I noticed there's somebody you don't want to die.
Michael? Dude, I mean, if Michael dies and kills, I mean, obviously, what the hell are they going to do with ends? But yeah, I don't think Michael should die.
Yeah, but you're saying you want it to still keep going after ends.
Well,
Michael,
maybe I wanted to. I want not with ends. I want them to finish this storyline. I want them to put a wrap on the Jamie Lee Curtis, the Strode family storyline. If they're not doing it as them being brother and sister, I want them to end the Strode family involvement. So yes, if later on some other people that come along, they could do a sequel to Halloween Ends, or they could just scrap it all and go back and do whatever they want with whatever part. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to H2O. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Part 6, like something to really fill out the Cult of Thorn trilogy. I wouldn't mind seeing. There's a lot of things you could do with this franchise. I mean, no, why not? Other franchises get away with it all the time. You know?
I'd like to see this sequel to Halloween 4 with Jamie Lloyd as the killer. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I never wanted to see her as a killer, but it would be an interesting movie to watch.
It'd be a cool what if.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a one shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want in kills though, bro?
So yeah, I don't necessarily need to see Jamie Lee die in kills. I would like to see her become like more like a Dr. Loomis type character. And maybe have them Michael chase them down, the daughter and the granddaughter in this one, but maybe in end see something totally different. And wrap up the whole storyline with Karen and Andy Matichak there in this movie.
Yeah, if they do it all in this movie, then in ends he could just go nuts on the whole town.
Yeah, that's 'cause so many people want to see him get out of the whole Haddonfield thing and the whole Laurie Strode thing. And he also, I would like to see in ends him move on to maybe even somewhere else, like another town where they don't know all about him.
That's one thing I really liked about H2O was it was in a different town, different state. It was in California.
But then maybe Laurie will still be around and she'll know about what's going on. Maybe she'll see it on the news. And then she'll be like, oh man, he's still out there. I got to go stop him.
Or she kind of takes on the Loomis role and like goes and just like starts hunting him.
Yeah, and then she could be like Dr. Loomis was, you know.
That'd be cool.
Right. Yeah, it's I mean, there's so many things they can do. Whatever they do though, I mean, I may not like certain things, but I'll still accept the movie. Unless they just totally go like Rob Zombie and say fuck everything and just, you know. But I don't see them doing that. I don't. I just want them to do it right. I just want them to do it in such a way that it honors what they put before. If they were to change the storyline all of a sudden in mid swing and like in the middle of this trilogy and just do something completely off the wall different than what they're heading towards. That's the only thing I can think where I wouldn't like it, you know. But it's always about the execution in the end. I think the execution of 2018 is what sells it so much. And we got great guys playing Michael. We got great characters with kills. I think they'll carry on, and I hope they do. Ends is going to be the one that I'm really wondering about.
I think it would be cool if they made it like the Avengers did with the Infinity War. Just have this one like kills be all about Michael just raining terror on the town, you know, getting his revenge and just taking everybody out, you know, like Thanos did in Infinity, and then in Ends they can get their revenge, you know,
right?
Like Endgame type thing, and wrap it all up nicely.
You know how I'm not saying I want to see this in this trilogy, but you know how in Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon, they live in a world where Michael and Freddy and all that all exist.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that kind of Avengers type thing? Like we got an ensemble Avengers type like horror film.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching. That would just be something fun to watch. I mean, none of us would really take it that serious, I don't think, but it would be fun.
Yeah,
you know?
it'd be awesome.
Like have Michael pass by Camp Crystal Lake or something. You see the sign.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like they're all fucking fighting. Here comes Chucky out of the woodwork, you know, and Leatherface comes along, and and it's up to them to find and kill the person that they got to kill, the correct final girl, you know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
think
I
think that's something they could do after this series.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've always felt that Halloween is a serious horror franchise, and the material should be taken seriously. That was one of my issues with Resurrection was they kind of made a joke out of it.
Right.
And this isn't Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not Freddy where the character's kind of funny or is funny. You know, it's not a series to me that should be made into a joke. It's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's this to me, Halloween was always a classy series. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but maybe it is. There was something more highbrow about Halloween, where everything else to me was kind of lowbrow. Even though I love it, Halloween was just always on a shelf above with its quality, with everything. And as much as I would love to see something like that just for fun, I don't think I could ever like, oh yeah, that's part of the franchise. You know, I would just like to see it as a one-off, have some fun, you know, kind of silliness, but I would never feel like include it as part of the franchise.
That's the thing is you never want to see it go in like the campy territory, you know?
Yeah, some characters you can, like Freddy, you can do that. Freddy, you can be campy. And it works. I like Freddy's Dead. I love that movie. I mean, I love Freddy versus Jason. I mean, I think Freddy versus Jason is a great character of a great portrayal of Freddy. Maybe Freddy versus Jason is the second or third best portrayal in my opinion, as far as like the Freddy character. You know.
Oh yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. I love that monologue in the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, Jay, have a good night, bro.
Later.
I'm gonna make a remember.
So, what do you want from Ends, guys?
It depends. I'll have to see Kills first. I'll have to see how Kills goes before I can really think about what I want to see in Ends. I would like to see another Loomis type character, maybe.
I want to see them turn Lori into that character if they don't kill her.
Yeah,
I want to see her die, but if they don't kill her, at least for that one movie, I want to see her turn into that character.
That'd be cool.
Are you playing a joke on me?
No, dear, I'm not playing a joke on you. I have no clue what you did with it. Give me a few minutes.
I think if it's done right, me personally, I would like to see this one end the franchise. I know a lot of people don't want to see that ever happen, but I think if it's done right and we got 3 good movies in a row, it's like, yeah, let's do it. We're on a high. Let's end it on a high note. We got 3 good movies, a great new trilogy that brought the characters back to life in a great way. Let's have it end on a high, classy note, and so we don't delve into going into camp territory eventually, you know,
right?
Like we did, almost got there with Resurrection.
Yeah. And the collector in me would like to see a release, like box set releases of just like the Thorn trilogy, and then the 1-2 H2O trilogy, and then the 1 2018, you know, through Kills, through Ends,
the new
trilogy, you know. I would like to see different editions of all those, and I would buy every single one of them too. But yeah, I just, like you said, I'll watch. If we get 100 more Halloweens, I'm gonna watch every single one of them. You know, I mean, I'll watch them all because out of 100, hopefully at least 60 or 70 of them are gonna be badass. So.
I mean, yeah, if they keep making them, I'm gonna keep seeing them. I'm not gonna lie, you know, just because I'm a big fan. I mean, Halloween, that's my franchise there. But in all honesty, I would like to see it end with Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
And we got one more question left.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you want to see from the franchise after Halloween Ends?
It's basically what we just discussed.
Hellhound.
So.
I think they should leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
Just in case they want to see. Just in case somebody wants to pick it up later on and expand upon it.
Probably not a popular opinion. I would not mind seeing another remake that's done right.
A remake? Come on.
Like I said, probably not a popular opinion. But that remake, that Rob Zombie remake's left such a bad taste in my mouth. If we're gonna have a remake, we need to have one done right. Or, like you said, if they ever wanted to explore that anthology aspect, like a lot of people want, which I really don't, I would like to see like the legacy of Halloween or something, you know, like you said, a movie where Jamie Lloyd is the killer.
Yeah.
You know, that you call that Halloween Legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I there's a lot of movies in this franchise that they could put another movie in there for. You know.
Yeah, it could definitely go in a lot of directions, yeah.
If they did make another remake, I would like to see it without, honestly, like without the Laurie Strode character. Like, not really a remake, but just a movie where, okay, Laurie, he's not going after Laurie for whatever reason, wherever you want to put it in the franchise. He's just going totally different direction. It's Michael. He's escaped from whatever part he's been in, whether it's after 2, whether it's after 5, whether it's after 6, whatever. And he's just out there doing his thing, and we follow it. And I would like that too.
Yeah. I could see that.
I dig that.
But I mean, it's such a big question if you did a remake, you know. Can you trust someone else to do it right? You say you want to see it done right, but how do you know who would do it right, you know?
Let me do it, I'll do it right.
Do a big hack job even worse than Rob Zombie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't get fucking Rob Zombie to do it.
Yeah.
He's great with his own intellectual
play around with a classic.
Rick's here. Rick, here comes the advocate for the Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah. Us only. What's up? A little late to the party, aren't you?
Well, guys, that's been a fun one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. I had a
I've been
blast.
chilling here so long, I'm starting to relax. It's 6 o'clock. We gotta start making that dinner. Oh.
Hey, Hellhound, you made it through. I'm glad you could make it through the whole show.
Yeah, buddy. I'm glad to see how well you're moving, man. I saw you just get up the thing there. That's pretty good movement. You're doing good, man.
Yeah, it's come a long way, honestly.
Yeah.
Accident.
You almost look like you were about to bounce off that bed.
You're looking quite spry there.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting there.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been a blast, guys. I mean, I really enjoyed doing these. And I enjoyed that with this one we got to be a little more open. We got to talk a little more, just 3 of us. You know.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Glad we had a little more time to.
Yeah, we didn't have to rush so much. That's why I suggested when you said that you wanted to be done around this time, I suggested that we do it an hour earlier because we're all off today, so we're not working. So
Yep. Awesome show, guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah,
hey, Jen's just showing up and we're leaving. For the blood spattered trio.
Jen, you missed it.
For the blood spattered trio, I know we'd all like to say thank you and peace out.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the Blood Spattered Trio live stream featuring Sean Erschen, Hellhound from the HorrorMetal channel, and Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Tune in and stay scared.